Major contributions to the world of journalism, not only in India, but outside of India as well. He has been to many North American universities, including Berkeley, University of Western Ontario, some elite colleges in US and Canada. In all of these places, he has taught. He has also done the same thing in India for the last 30 years. Many of his former students are now distinguished journalists in their own right and have won many honors. In a moment I'll come about to talk about the honors that Dr. Sainath has earned over his career of 31 years in the field of journalism. His work focuses on the impact of what we now know as the globalization process.
ਅੱਜ ਦਾ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਸੈਮੀਨਾਰ ਦਾ ਟੌਪਿਕ ਹੈ ਉਹ ਹੈਗਾ ਇਜ਼ ਇੰਡੀਆ ਸ਼ਾਈਨਿੰਗ ਤੇ ਇਹ ਪ੍ਰੋਗਰੈਸਿਵ ਪੀਪਲਸ ਫਾਊਂਡੇਸ਼ਨ ਵੱਲੋਂ ਆਯੋਜਿਤ ਕੀਤਾ ਗਿਆ ਹੈ। ਜਿਹੜੇ PS ਸਾਈਨਾਥ ਨੇ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਕਿ ਇੰਡੀਆ ਦੇ ਬੜੇ ਹੀ ਨੋਟਡ ਜਰਨਲਿਸਟ ਨੇ, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਕੁਝ ਦਿਨ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਯੂਨੀਵਰਸਿਟੀ ਆਫ ਅਲਬਰਟਾ ਵੱਲੋਂ ਇੱਕ ਆਨਰਰੀ ਡਿਗਰੀ ਦੇ ਕੇ ਸਨਮਾਨਿਤ ਕੀਤਾ ਗਿਆ ਸੀਗਾ। ਉਹ ਇਸ ਬਹਾਨੇ ਐਡਮਿੰਟਨ ਵਿੱਚ ਆਏ ਹੋਏ ਸਨ ਤੇ ਅਸੀਂ ਇਸ ਮੌਕੇ ਦਾ ਫਾਇਦਾ ਉਠਾਉਂਦੇ ਹੋਏ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਇਸ ਮੰਚ ਤੇ ਲਿਆਂਦਾ ਹੈ ਵੀ ਤਾਂ ਕਿ ਇੰਡੀਆ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਗਲੋਬਲਾਈਜੇਸ਼ਨ ਤਹਿਤ ਜੋ ਵੀ ਡਿਵੈਲਪਮੈਂਟ ਹੋ ਰਹੀ ਆ ਉਸ ਡਿਵੈਲਪਮੈਂਟ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਕੀ ਵਾਕਿਆ ਹੀ ਇੰਡੀਆ ਸ਼ਾਈਨ ਕਰ ਰਿਹਾ ਹੈ ਜਾਂ ਉੱਥੋਂ ਦੇ ਕੀ ਚੈਲੰਜਸ ਨੇ ਜਾਂ ਗਲੋਬਲਾਈਜੇਸ਼ਨ ਦੇ ਕੀ ਚੈਲੰਜਸ ਨੇ ਜਾਂ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਕਿੱਦਾਂ ਨਜਿੱਠਿਆ ਜਾ ਸਕਦਾ ਹੈ। ਇਹ ਇੱਕ ਬਹੁਤ ਹੀ ਵੱਡੇ ਨੋਟਡ ਜਰਨਲਿਸਟ ਨੇ ਤੇ ਵਰਲਡ ਲੈਵਲ ਤੇ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਹੈਗੇ ਆ ਪ੍ਰੋਮੀਨੈਂਟ ਲੀਡਰ ਨੇ ਇਸ ਫੀਲਡ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ। ਸੋ ਇਸ ਕਰਕੇ ਅਸੀਂ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਇੱਥੇ ਅੱਜ ਦਾ ਸੱਦਾ ਦਿੰਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਤੇ ਅੱਜ ਦਾ ਸੈਮੀਨਾਰ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਹੈਗਾ ਦੁਬਾਰਾ ਫਿਰ ਇਹ ਪ੍ਰੋਗਰੈਸਿਵ ਪੀਪਲਸ ਫਾਊਂਡੇਸ਼ਨ ਵੱਲੋਂ ਕਰਵਾਇਆ ਜਾ ਰਿਹਾ ਹੈ।
Is India shining? So there are two views, different views, and our today's celebrated author and reporter, he says that India, there are two Indias. One is 10%, which is enjoying every facility, every technology and city life, and the other part of India, which is about 77%, they are below poverty line and their per day income is below 20 rupees a day. So I hope he will give a very appreciative lecture today. He is well known all over the world, and particularly about the suicide amongst the farmers in India. He is authority on that.
My own attitude is, for whom is it shining? So for some sections of the population have done very well out of the last 20 years. But the large majority of poor people have suffered great deprivation as a result of the policies and processes of the last 20 years. So that's what we are discussing today. I want to make it more a discussion than a lecture. See, I think that the very first thing is that you've got to have a very different path of development than the one you do now. What you have now is increasing inequality very, very sharply. India today is more unequal. There is more inequality in India today than at any time since independence. And that is causing enormous social tension, strains and stresses. So if you want, you have to start addressing the issues of inequality, of equity, of fairness, of distribution. You've got to start addressing. In that, you have, for that to be able to do that, you've got to be able to take an entirely different course in economic policy. I think you can draw from your own constitution directive principles of state policy, give you a very good vision of what kinds of steps you should be taking, whether on health, education, employment, nutrition. The directive principles of state policy are the soul of the constitution. You start implementing them, you've got a very, very different nation. I think your constitution may have lots of flaws in it, it may have lots of mistakes, but its core philosophy is one of the most remarkable in the world. There is no constitution in the world which is a final document without any imperfection. Constitution of India was written by the Constituent Assembly with some of the greatest minds of Indian history participating in the writing. It draws from America, it draws from England, but it also has its own. Baba Saheb Ambedkar was the architect of the Constitution, and lots of other very brilliant minds. They did not just scribble anything. I think it was a very serious document. Now, no constitution in the world is a final document that goes on forever. So you keep, that's why you have 80, 90 amendments to a constitution. The US constitution also has a large number of amendments. The point is that what is the core philosophy or vision of your constitution? That I think is a very solid, very good one.
Time for you to have your discussion on this subject, because next month, the 21st of July, marks 20 years of liberalization, 20 years of the new economic reforms process. It's on 21st July 1991 that Dr. Manmohan Singh made his famous speech on the floor of Parliament, committing India to the new economic policies that we have been following